Check. Is this thing on? Producers, the best way to be efficient at making beats is gonna be using hotkeys. So let me help speed up your workflow a bit, and I'm gonna show you some of my most used hotkeys in FL Studio. Let's get into the video. What's good, everybody, and welcome back to another video. It's me, they call me Heat. Now, I'm an avid user of FL Studio. I love FL Studio. I've been with FL Studio. I've been using it since version 3, and we are now on version 20. Crazy, right? So obviously there is a lot that I kind of know and understand about FL Studio, and hotkeys is one of my favorite things ever. Like any program, anything that I use, I'm always learning or have to learn the hotkeys because that's the fastest way to learning a DAW. Now, some of these hotkeys will help you make beats much faster. So I'm gonna show you a little bit. When we talk about hotkeys, those are just quick commands that result in some type of thing that you're doing. So let's say the most basic one is Control S. And Control S in any program pretty much for Windows, it saves your project, it saves your document or whatever you're using. So let's go ahead and start with the first one that I really love. Obviously, we just spoke about it. It is Control S. I really love Control S. Like anytime I do anything different, after I move something, after I move a knob, after I add a plugin, after I record something, anything, I'm constantly hitting Control S. Now, my next key command that I really love, or hotkey, I'm sorry, that I really truly love in FL Studio is Control L. And what Control L does is anytime that you have a sound that's not on the mixer, you can automatically send that sound or plugin directly to a mixer track. So while you're making a beat, while you're cooking up, you know, you might add a plugin or you might add a new clap or a new open hi-hat. You might add just a new sound in general. Once you do that, then you want to hit Control L because it automatically sends the sound to an open mixer track. Now, Control L has a secondary purpose as well, meaning that you can use it somewhere else in FL Studio. It's still the same command, which is Control L, but it does something different. While you're in the piano roll and you might have some notes that don't connect with each other, they don't fit. There's a little bit of space here. You can hit Control L and it will extend the notes. The notes will now play out longer and resonate longer. Yo, listen, if you struggle at all with making better beats, or if you struggle with mixing your beats, let's say you got great beats, but you just struggle with making it sound good, head over to Bap University.com. I have a few courses over there that will help you with your beat making process as well as your mixing process. You gotta have better beats in order to sell more beats. You gotta have better beats to get more placements, right? Let me help you with that. I got the Cooking at Bap Masterclass, which will walk you through the full beat making process as to how I make my beats, and I also have the Mixing and Mastering Your Beats Like a Pro Masterclass, which will show you exactly the full process as to how to mix your beats. And there's a bonus in there as well on how to mix vocals too. So I'm going to show you all of that at BapUniversity.com. Head over there, grab up those courses. I promise you, 15 years of proven experience to get you right. All right, let's get back into the video. For me in FL Studio, I don't like to use quantize a lot. I don't really go for quantize too much. So what I did was I turned my snap in all of my piano roll and my playlist to set to main. What that means is when you go right here where it says line, you can now set this to the same settings that you could set it to anywhere else, like in your piano roll, and then as well as in the playlist, you can change it too. And I base everything off of the global quantization, which is right here at the top. The key command that I like to use with this here is the backspace button. What that does is that turns the global quantization on or off. So no matter what the setting is, you just hit that backspace button and it will turn it off. You hit this backspace button again and it turns it back on. I hate changing the setting in the piano roll. I hate changing the setting in the playlist. So I just set everything to main. So anytime I need to turn it on or off, because I do operate in the piano roll and in the playlist. I don't just only make beats with the piano roll. I add audio clips and things like that into my session as well. So I'm always working with clips and I might need to move them or nudge them and things like that. So being able to turn that on and off gives me the opportunity to nudge notes, nudge clips, however they need to be nudged. And with a lot of my hotkeys that I'm talking about right now, and I have a few more that I want to share with you as well, I do have them set up on my Stream Deck here. So my Stream Deck is pretty much like a hotkey haven. So all the hotkeys that I'm talking about, I don't have to waste time going to my keyboard to do it. I can just hit it on my Stream Deck. So I like the Stream Deck because that's a good thing. I can set up just quick hotkeys, quick things that I can do to, you know, speed the workflow up. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go out and invest in a Stream Deck. Just knowing hotkeys is a good thing. This is here to put my hotkeys in one place, essentially. Now, my next favorite hotkey is gonna be F4. And what F4 does is it opens up a new pattern. So it finds the next empty pattern. So you don't have to go up here searching, looking around for, you know, your patterns, things like that. You can now just hit F4 and it will bring up an empty pattern. So while you're in here making a beat, you need a new pattern, you just hit F4 and it finds it and it'll ask you to name it. If you want to avoid naming it, you can just hit Control F4 and it will actually open the pattern without asking you to name the pattern. Another general and very basic hotkey that is out there that I really love and I always use it is Control M. What that does is that turns the metronome on, and then you can hit it again to turn the metronome off. You know, another hotkey that I really love, and since I'm working in the playlist a lot, it really comes in handy. Now you can use this in the piano roll as well, obviously, but in the playlist, this is what I use the most pretty much all the time, and that is just the letter C. What C does is it puts your cursor in slice mode. So that means you can now slice up your clips. So once you hit the C button here, it now puts it into like this blade. And as long as you have your snap on, or set to whatever timing you may have had, you can now cut it in that time. So mine is set to line, so I can just cut it right on the line. And boom, I can get rid of that piece. If you like to chop samples on the playlist, or you want to work in the playlist more, or if you use a lot of audio clips in the playlist, the letter C will put you in that slice mode, get rid of that tail, get rid of whatever you're trying to get rid of very fast. Now the next hotkey goes hand in hand with that slice tool, because obviously after you slice something, you now need to go back into another mode in order to get rid of those other clips, or to now add different other clips without slicing things up. And that would be just the letter B. Now once you slice something, as we have here, and it's still in this blade tool, you just hit the letter B, and it now puts it back into the paint tool. And that's what I like to use the most. A lot of people like to use the pencil, which is okay, but I like to use the paint tool. So the paint tool is here, is now set up. You can just right click and get rid of whatever you want to get rid of. So if you go to C and you cut something, go press B and it puts it back into the paint tool, and you can get rid of whatever you need to get rid of. All right, now the last hotkey is very powerful. Why? It's one of the steps, you know, in beat making. It's like the end. You're excited. You're ready to showcase that beat to just people. You know what I mean? Show it off to your folks, and you gotta export it out. Normally, we would just go up to File, Export, MP3, WAV file, whatever. But now, with this hotkey, you can do that very fast. And that hotkey is Control-R. So let's say you're done with the beat. Now we just hit Control-R, brings up this window here, which will now put it into a WAV file. And we can essentially take this to the desktop. Now we can also change the file format to MP3, OGG, a FLAC file, M4A if that's what you need, if that's what you're looking for. But that is the way to render it out very fast. It just cuts out the steps. Now I hope these hotkeys help someone out there. These are just ways to just speed up your workflow, cut out extra steps. You don't need to, you know, be clicking all over the place. You literally can just hit these hotkeys and get to your end goal very fast. If this video helped you in any type of way today, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well and turn on all notifications just so you don't miss any more videos after today. All right, thank you for watching, and I'ma get out of here. Peace, y'all.